The world was broken. They called it Aetheria now. Twisted spires of forgotten cities clawed at a sky permanently bruised with unnatural colors. Once, marvels of engineering had touched these heavens. Flying machines had danced between clouds. Great networks of light and information had pulsed beneath the earth. That world was gone. It had shattered. It had fallen. The event was known only as the collapse. No one truly remembered how it began, or why. Only the silence and the ruins remained, a testament to an age of hubris. A new power had risen from the ashes. Ether. It was a mystical energy, unseen yet potent. It flowed through the land, through the air, through the very bones of Aetheria. Some said it was the lifeblood of the planet, finally unleashed. Others whispered it was a curse, a consequence of the old world's demise. This energy was raw, untamed. It changed things. It warped the land. It awakened strange abilities in the few who could sense its flow. These individuals were the resonants, touched by ether, capable of channeling its power. Humanity clung to existence in scattered settlements. They scavenged the bones of the old world. They learned to live with ether or die by it. This was Aetheria, a world teetering on the edge of a new age. Kael Riven knew only this broken world. He was 17. His home was Veyra, a sprawling, chaotic settlement built within the skeletal remains of an ancient transport hub. Veyra was a place of dust and desperation. Its inhabitants were hardy, suspicious folk. They survived by their wits and their willingness to brave the dangers beyond the settlement's crumbling walls. Kael was a scavenger. He delved into the metal graveyards of the past. He sought forgotten tech and ether-infused relics. It was a dangerous life. Few scavengers lived to see old age. His days were a cycle of risk. He would slip past territorial gangs. He would navigate treacherous ruins. He would evade the mutated creatures that roamed the wastes, warped by ether's unpredictable touch. Kael was nimble. He was quick-witted. He had an uncanny knack for finding things others missed, a working power cell, a fragment of pre-collapse data, anything that could be traded for food, water, or the crude tools needed for survival. He lived on the fringes, even within Veyra. An orphan, he trusted few. He relied only on himself. Survival was the currency of Veyra. The job was supposed to be simple, a quick in and out. An old world vault, supposedly untouched, rumored to hold pre-collapse tech. Kael had his doubts. Untouched vaults were the stuff of scavengers' dreams, rarely reality. But the payout offered by the shadowy contact was too good to ignore. It promised a way out of his hand-to-mouth existence, at least for a while. He took the risk. He joined a small, hastily assembled crew. He should have trusted his instincts. The unease that settled in his gut was a familiar warning. The vault was deep within a restricted zone. Automated defense systems, surprisingly, still flickered with malevolent life. The crew was ill-prepared. Greed made them reckless. One by one, they fell to traps or their own incompetence. Kael, ever cautious, managed to navigate the crumbling corridors. He moved like a ghost through the decaying facility. He felt the oppressive weight of forgotten years. The air was stale, thick with the scent of ozone and something else, something ancient and powerful. He found the central chamber. It was not filled with caches of technology as they had hoped. Instead, a single obsidian pedestal stood at its heart. Upon it rested a device unlike anything Kael had ever seen. It was a sphere of intricate, interlocking metallic rings, pulsing with a soft internal light. It hummed with a power that resonated deep within his bones. This was no mere piece of tech. Kael stumbled from the vault, the ChronoCore clutched tightly. His body thrummed with an alien energy. His mind reeled. The world around him seemed different, sharper, slower. He could see the motes of dust hanging in the air, each one distinct. He could hear the frantic beat of his own heart, the distant skittering of unseen creatures. These were not just heightened senses. This was something more. Something fundamental had shifted within him. The ChronoCore pulsed faintly in his palm, a silent, knowing presence. He was terrified. He was exhilarated. Back in the relative safety of his hidden alcove in Veyra, Kael tried to understand. The ChronoCore offered no easy answers. It was an enigma. But as days turned into nights, strange occurrences began. Time itself seemed to bend around him, subtly at first. A falling cup would slow, allowing him to catch it. He would anticipate a rival scavenger's move, a split second before it happened. These were small things, yet they were impossible. He was doing things no ordinary person, not even a resonant, could do. The ChronoCore was the key. It had awakened something. With this new power came a chilling awareness. He felt a presence, a cold, calculating intellect brushing against his mind. It was faint like a whisper from the edge of reality. It promised knowledge, it promised control. It called itself the Whisper King. Kael recoiled from the contact. He was alone with a power that could reshape his world or destroy it. Kael's newfound abilities did not go unnoticed for long. The subtle ripples he created in the flow of time were like beacons in the unseen world of etheric power. Two factions, operating in the shadows for generations, sensed the ChronoCore's awakening. They were the Veyra Order and the Scindari. Their war was ancient, their battleground the very fabric of time itself. Most of Aetheria's populace lived unaware of this clandestine conflict, their lives unknowingly shaped by its ebbs and flows. Kael was about to be thrust into its heart. The Veyra Order were protectors. They saw themselves as guardians of the temporal stream. They believed that time was a sacred constant, its natural course to be preserved at all costs. To them, manipulating time was the ultimate hubris, an act that could unravel reality itself. They sought to find and secure artifacts like the ChronoCore to prevent their misuse. Their members were often resonants, trained to perceive and subtly influence ether, but always with restraint. They valued balance, wisdom, and the sanctity of the present moment. The Scindari, however, held a different philosophy. One evening, as Kael studied a vivid temporal echo, he was approached. Her name was Lyra Winth. She wore the insignia of the Veyra Order. Lyra spoke of the ChronoCore, an anchor of ages. Its reawakening had alerted both her order and their enemies, the Scindari. The Veyra sought to guide, not control. They wanted to help Kael understand his abilities. Trust was scarce in his life. Yet there was sincerity in her gaze. Before Kael could fully process Lyra's offer, the Scindari made their move. They did not approach with quiet reason. They came with force and cunning. Their agents were skilled, their methods brutal. They saw Kael not as a person, but as a key, a living component to unlock the ChronoCore's full potential. Their leader in this pursuit was a man named Malachor, whose eyes burned with a fanatic's zeal. He believed the Scindari were destined to usher in a new golden age, sculpted from the clay of altered time. Malachor's philosophy was seductive in its simplicity. Why suffer the mistakes of the past? Why endure a broken present? The Scindari promised a world remade, free of the collapse, free of suffering. All it required was the courage to seize control of time itself. They dismissed the Veyra as fearful traditionalists, clinging to a flawed reality. They painted themselves as visionaries, pioneers on the verge of ultimate power. They whispered that Kael, with the ChronoCore, could be the architect of this new world. He could save everyone. Their tactics were insidious. They attempted to isolate Kael, to turn him against the Veyra. They spread misinformation. They orchestrated events to make Lyra and her order appear untrustworthy, even hostile. They preyed on Kael's loneliness, his desire for a better life, his fear of the unknown powers coursing through him. As Kael experimented with the ChronoCore, he began to witness the true cost of tampering with time. Each alteration sent ripples outwards, creating unforeseen consequences. The most disturbing were the echoes, fractured moments, ghosts of altered timelines. A street Kael knew would flicker, revealing a version of itself that never was. The ChronoCore showed him the fragility of reality. Time was an infinitely complex web. The Whisper King reveled in this chaos, urging Kael to delve deeper. Kael Riven stood at a precipice. The ChronoCore pulsed in his hand, a universe of possibilities, a universe of perils. Before him lay two distinct paths, each presented by a powerful faction. The Veyra Order offered guidance and protection of the present. They spoke of sacrifice and the greater good. The Scindari, led by Malachor, offered power and control. They tempted him with a perfect past and a future sculpted to his will. The choice was stark: to become a guardian or a conqueror of time. Was he fated to wield this power, or could he define his own path? The future remained unwritten, its course held in the hands of a boy from the ruins.